Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayasha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Shrunvatam Swakatha Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Hridayantostoyi Bhadrani Vibhunoti Sudsatam Srimad Bhagawatam Canto 3 Chapter. So I used to read a bit.
Can you make the font a little bit larger?
Yeah, hold on. Hold your horses here.
Okay.
One second. Okay, oops. Chapter 3, Canto 3, Chapter 5, text number 45.
Oh, there we go. Whoa, okay.
Tan Wai Ti Asadvittivir Akshivir Ye Parahitantar Manasa Haresha Atho Na Pashyanti Durgaya
Vrittivirakshibhirye
Tanvaya Sadvittivirakshibhirye
Paravatantar manasa paresha
Paravatantar manasa paresha
Atrona pashyanti urgaya nunam
Atrona pashyanti urgaya nunam
Yete paranyasa vilasa laksha
Yete paranyasa vilasa laksha
Tanvaira Shadvritibir Akshibirye
Tanvaira Shadvritibir Akshibirye
Pararitantar Manasa Parisha
Pararitantar manasa paresha
Antona Pasyanti Urugayanunam
Atona pashyanti urgaya nunam
Yete Paranyasa Vilasa Laksha
Yete paranyasa vilasa laksha
Tanvaira Shadvritibir Akshibirye
Tanvaira Shadvritibir Akshibirye
Pararitantar Manasa Parisha
Pararitantar manasa paresha
Atona Pasyanti Urugayanunam
Atona pashyanti urgaya nunam
Yete Padanasya Vilasa Laksha
Yete paranyasa vilasa laksha
Tanvaya Sadvipur Akshibhirye
Tanvaira Shadvritibir Akshibirye
Pararamtar Mamasya Parasya
Pararitantar manasa paresha
Adona Pasanti Urgaya Nunam
Atona pashyanti urgaya nunam
Yete Paramyasa Vilasa Laksaya
Yete paranyasa vilasa laksha Like your tent.
Tan
Does this one, right?
Huh?
Does the monster one?
Oh yeah, sing. Parari.
Sorry, need help.
No, sorry. Tanvaya Sadvritibir Akshibirye Pararitantar manasa paresha Atona pashyanti urgaya nunam Yete paranyasa vilasa laksha Alright, word to word meaning. Tan. The lotus feet of the Lord.
The lotus feet of the Lord
Way. Certainly.
Certainly.
He. For.
For
Asat.
Asat.
Materialistic.
Materialistic
Vrittivihi.
Vrittivihi
By those who are influenced by external energy.
by those who are influenced by external energy
Akshibhihi.
Akshibhihi
By the senses.
by the senses
Ye.
Yea
Those.
those
Pararata.
Pararata
Missing at a distance.
missing at a distance
Antaha manasaha. Of the internal mind.
of the internal mind
Paresha.
Paresha
O Supreme.
O Supreme
Tato.
Ato
Therefore. Na. Never. Pashyanti.
Shanti
Can see.
can see
Urugaya.
Urgaya
O great.
great
Nunam.
Nunam
But.
but
Ye.
Yea
Those who.
take
Your. Padanyasa.
Paranyasa
Activities. Vilasa.
Vilasa
Transcendental enjoyment.
transcendental enjoyment
Lakshaha.
Lakshaha
Those who see.
those who see
Translation and perfect life. Translation. O great Supreme Lord,
O great Supreme Lord,
offensive persons
offensive persons
whose internal vision
whose internal vision
has been too affected
has been too affected
by external
by external
materialistic activities
materialistic activities
cannot see your lotus feet,
cannot see your lotus feet,
but they are seen
but they are seen
by your pure devotees,
by your pure devotees,
whose one and only aim
whose one and only aim
is to transcendentally
is to transcendentally
enjoy your activities.
enjoy your activities.
As stated in Bhagavad Gita 1861, the Lord is situated in everyone's heart. It is natural that one should be able to see the Lord at least within himself. 1861, does anyone remember? Sarvasya Cham, is that all? Oh, Ishvara Sarvabhutam. Nam Yam Sarvabhutani Yantadurani Maya. Very famous verse. I'll come back to that. But that is not possible for those whose internal vision has been covered by external activities. The pure soul, which is symptomized by consciousness, can be easily perceived even by a common man because consciousness is spread all over the body. The yoga system as recommended in Bhagavad Gita is to concentrate the mental activities internally and thus see the lotus feet of the Lord within oneself. But there are many so-called yogis who have no concern with the Lord but are only concerned with consciousness, which they accept as the final realization. Such realization of consciousness is taught by Bhagavad Gita within only a few minutes, whereas the so-called yogis take continuous years to realize it because of their offenses at the lotus feet of the Lord. The greatest offense is to deny the existence of the Lord as separate from the individual souls, or to accept the Lord and the individual soul as one and the same. The impersonalists misinterpret the theory of reflection, and thus they wrongly accept the individual consciousness as the supreme consciousness. The theory of the reflection of the Supreme can be clearly understood without difficulty by any sincere common man. When there is a reflection of the sky on the water, both the sky and the stars are seen within the water, but it is understood that the sky and the stars are not to be accepted on the same level. The stars are parts of the sky, and therefore they cannot be equal to the whole. The sky is the whole and the stars are parts. They cannot be one and the same. Transcendentalists who do not accept the supreme consciousness as separate from the individual consciousness are as offensive as the materialists who deny even the existence of the Lord. Such offenders cannot actually see the lotus feet of the Lord within themselves, nor are they even able to see the devotees of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord are so kind that they roam to all places to enlighten people in God consciousness. The offenders, however, lose the chance to receive the Lord's devotees, although the offenseless common man is at once influenced by the devotee's presence. In this connection, there is an interesting story of a hunter and Devarshi Narada. A hunter in the forest, although a great sinner, was not an intentional offender. He was at once influenced by the presence of Narada, and he agreed to take the path of devotion, leaving aside his heart and home. Would you say this heart or heart? Heart. H-E-A-R-T-H.
Heart.
Heart. Leaving aside his heart and home. But the offenders Nalapura and Manigriva, even though living amongst the demigods, had to undergo the punishment of becoming trees in their next lives. although by the grace of the devotee, they were later delivered by the Lord. Offenders have to wait until they receive the mercy of devotees, and then they can become eligible to see the lotus feet of the Lord within themselves. But due to their offenses and their extreme materialism, they cannot see even the devotees of the Lord. Engaged in external activities, they kill the internal vision. The Lord's devotees, however, do not mind the offenses of the foolish in their many gross and subtle bodily endeavors. The Lord's devotees continue to bestow the blessings of devotion upon all such offenders without hesitation. That is the nature of devotees. Om Jnana-Timirandhasya Jnana-Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girimyat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyaeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Tanvahi Asad Vrittibhi Akshibhiye Parahartanta Nasa Paresha Ato na Pashyanti Urugaya Nunam Yete Paranyasa Vilasalashaha. O great Supreme Lord, offensive persons whose internal vision has been too affected by external materialistic activities cannot see your lotus feet, but they are seen by your pure devotees, whose one and only aim is to transcendently enjoy your activities. So for the last few verses or few days, we are discussing about the lotus feet, Pada. Muslims, when we start our morning prayers from Mangalarti until Guru Puja, and even in the class, there's, I think, this word Pada. It's like we say Namo Om Vishnu Padaya, right? And so even I think there should be this word in the Mangalarti we do, or Tulsi Puja we do, or of course in the Prabhupada's Guru Puja, Shri Guru Charana Padma. So Charana is also Pada. And I was trying to see in this verse, let's see if anybody can figure out where's the word here. In which line? You see this word Pada?
The last one.
The last line. But it's Padanyasa. So Prabhupada translates as activities. So Yete Padanyasa Vilasa Lakshya. In activities, transcendental enjoyment, and those who see these activities. But nevertheless, other day we were having, I think, before Maharaj we gave Radhesh, A.K. Radheya. So he was saying the Vaishnavas are so much obsessed by the lotus feet of the Lord. And yes, we have this obsession for the lotus feet of the Lord, and it kind of reminded me of this incident in Mahabharata when Ram and Lakshman, they were in this Dandakaranya forest in search of Sita Devi, Mother Sita Devi, and at one point they come across this pottery or this cloth or a kind of a bag. It was tied, And when Lord Ramachandra opens this cloth and he finds so many different ornaments, right? And of course, from the ornaments, it's symbolized that it belonged to some princess or a lady. And Lord Ramachandra, he of course knows whom they belong to, but he wants to confirm it with Lakshman. Right? And he asks Lakshman, oh, do you recognize these beautiful ornaments whom they belong to? Does they belong to Sita? And what does Lakshman say? Very interesting. He says, no, I don't know. Only one thing I can recognize in that is the ring on one of the fingers, the toe of the toe. And Ramachandra says, oh, how come? And what did he say? I am always engrossed in serving the lotus feet of Mother Sita, and never I went beyond the lotus feet. I never saw any other parts of her body, or even for that matter the face. And that's what the importance of the feet, the serving the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas, the pure devotees. They can grant all the blessings, just like even when we have the darshan of the Lord. How do we start the darshan of the Lord? By the feet, right? By the lotus feet of the Lord. And even just like it also says that Srimad Bhagawatam, the first two cantos, the whole Srimad Bhagawatam is considered as the body of the Lord. So the first two cantos are the 2 feet of the Lord, right? And it's interesting, actually, some days back, and of course, there are so many, you go throughout the Bhagavatam, and there are so many references of what is the benefit of one who is serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Of course, in these verses, we see a little different angle, that what is or who are qualified to have the darshan of the lotus feet of the Lord and who are not, in this verse and in the verse before. But let us touch upon the benefit, the immense or innumerable benefits that one can attain by serving the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas or the Supreme Lord. And just recently we had this one devotee visiting from, I think, San Jose. And he asked me Maharaj's name, and I said, it's Ashram Swami. And he was kind of taken back, and pardon my ignorance, because I didn't know, although I know B.A. Ashram, but I didn't know the meaning of the initials. So I just said Ashram Swami. And he was saying, I could see from his face that he was kind of perplexed, because mostly we use the name Ashram, Brahmachari Ashram, Vanaprastha, Sannyas Ashram. And it was my ignorance that I didn't know the full name. But then just Maharaj was mentioning the other day in the class, Bhakti Abhay Ashram. Right? So Abhay, so that is the fearlessness. Bhaya means fear, and Abhaya means fearless. So one who is fearless. And interesting, how names actually, sometimes we do the shortcut, right? B.A. Ashram or so many things. And when we were in the school, we used to make fun of all this. Like they have any name, like person, they have the degrees. You will say BA or BCom, or in India we have this BSc, so Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Commerce. And then one we had LLB, right? And we used to say, oh, that's a lot of last bench. But of course, that's like a degree of, I think, for the advocates.
It's a law degree.
Law degree, right?
Bachelor of
Yes, yeah. So actually, and amazing, the names can, although I think who said that, what is their name? Shakespeare, someone said that. But everything is there in the name, because the name kind of implies or represents the personality of the person. And amazing, back in India, I don't want to name the particular sannyasi. He always names his disciples kind of in a strange, whenever they have initiation. And we have this wonderful devotee in the Mumbai temple. I think from his birth he is blind. But he's so wonderful, you would be surprised the way he plays Mridanga, and he can sing and play Mridanga and dance at the same time. Although being blind, he's like, in one sense, number one in playing Mridanga, or actually he was also my Mridanga teacher. And somehow, because he was blind, his Guru Maharaj gave him the name Dhritarashtra. And he was always kind of devotees were, and my Guru Maharaj Bhakti, so Damodar Swami, he would always kind of, kind of be pitying to these names, because, and there was one even went to the extent of giving one of the devotees, he actually joined at the same time, his name was given Shikhandi. And although, his personality was nowhere near Shikhandi, and we know what is Shikhandi. I think Larry Prabhu is kind of confused, so maybe Mataji can clarify.
He was an evil uncle of the Canada's.
But even otherwise, he was
He's the one who arranged the dice game.
I'm looking for words.
He had cheated them out of 13
Yes, but
years.
then he was
Calm the hand.
a unique, how do you spell it?
She's thinking of Shakuni.
Wasn't he a unique? How do you
Shikandi,
Yes.
transgender.
Right, yeah, that's the word.
Oh, yeah, it's that.
So, but then, everyone was kind of teasing him, oh, Shikandi, and he was so kind of depressed. But then luckily, unfortunately, his guru fell down, and then he got reinitiated by my Guru Maharaj, and then he was named Shubhakrit, such a beautiful name, as compared to Shikandi. And it's as good as like, nobody would want to name his child Ravana, right? So, same kind of angle. Recently, in Bollywood, there's this famous, I'm just kind of going sidelines, but interesting fact. There's this actress, and they had a boy, and they named their boy Taimur. And Taimur was a very cruel Muslim, leader or king or whatever, and he kind of did so many horrendous acts so many centuries back, and there was such a controversy, in Mumbai over this in the news, and everything. Oh, why should he name this and blah blah. So, but anyway, the names do matter. And here the Bhakti, Abhay. So Abhay is fearlessness, and one of the advantage or the benefit of one who surrenders to the lotus feet of the Lord, that they develop this quality of Nirbhaya, just like Mataji was referring yesterday or day before. But Prahlad Maharaj, that how Brahma, is such an exalted position, but he is coming when Nrsimhadev is there in his angry mood, his Ugram Viram Mahavishnu, Ugra mood. He's there in his very angry mood, and everybody is scared, including Brahma. And who is Brahma taking the shelter of? A 5-year-old boy. Right? Just like if you imagine, let's say Mataji is sitting here, Kusha Mataji is in a very angry mood, right? And she's angry on Shakti, let's say, and Shakti walks in, and Shakti is scared, but then there is Maruti standing there, let's say. So Shakti stands behind Maruti. Oh, okay, because he knows that Kusha Mataji favors Maruti. So similar situation with Brahma, that here is Prahlad, he's 5-year-old and he's fearless, he's Abhay to, he's not fearful of the Ugra Swarupa of Nrsimhadev. And there's one more incident, I was hearing to this one wonderful sannyasi from Bhuvaneshwar temple, Bhagawatam Swami's disciple, Haladar Swami, Haladar, I think his name is Haladar Swami. And he was quoting a very wonderful incident from Ramayana, that we know the story that how Sugriv is the leader of the Vanaras, and what are Vanaras? The monkeys. And he surrendered, or he made a truce with Lord Ramachandra. And the monkeys were so happy, because, and they also became nirbhay, or they became abhay, or fearless. And Lord Ramachandra, he was sitting under the tree.
Jai Shri Mati Ki.
And at that particular point, Lakshman, he had gone into the forest to gather some fruits for Lord Ramachandra's lunch. But then at the top of the tree where Lord Ramachandra was sitting, there were so many monkeys. Right? And Lord Ramachandra was watching the monkeys, and they were so happy, so jubilant, and they were so fearless, and they were, we know the monkey business. What they do is they keep eating right on top of the tree, they believe, and if they have to go do their number one business, or I don't know if it's common here in America, but back in India when we were in school, so when we raise our hand in the classroom, so the teacher will understand that he wants to go to pass urine. And this was even to go past too. But anyway, so these monkeys, if they want to go past urine, what do? Do they come down the tree and go walk to the toilet or whatever? No, they just on the top of the tree, and they just do their business right from there. And Lord Ramachandra is looking at this, and he is kind of so jubilant just seeing the nature of the fearless nature of the monkeys, that for a moment he even forgets the pangs of separation from Sita. Right? And Maharaj goes to explain, it's kind of funny, the way he explains that actually the monkeys, they were kind of doing the abhishek of Lord Ramachandra. But actually he's quoting this, he said, this is from probably Tulsi, Ramayana of Tulsidas. So this is the level of fearlessness that the devotees who have surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord, they get. And here, coming to this verse, Prabhupada he says that, "O great Supreme Lord, offensive persons whose internal vision has been too affected by external material activities cannot see your lotus feet." So this is the misfortune of the persons, just like it also says in the Bhagavad Gita, "Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Apalata Chetasam," that their chetasam, their consciousness or their intelligence is stolen, those who are so much engrossed, so much attached to Bhoga and Aishwarya, sense enjoyment, Bhoga and Aishwarya opulence. For them, the resultant determination of Krishna consciousness does not take place. And also Prabhupada is quoting here 1861, and what was that verse? Viddesha Arjuna Tishtati, what is the first line? I have it here again. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam, is that one?
Yeah, that's it.
Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam, actually you can recite a very beautiful verse. Right here, please chant after me. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam,
Ishvara Sarvabhutanam,
Viddesha Arjuna Tishtati, Ramayam Sarva Bhutani, Yantarudhani Mayaya. Actually, the Sanskrit words were very simple to understand. If you see line to line and word to word, so easy. Ishvara is Ishvara, Supreme Lord. Sarva, Sarva is all, Bhutani, living entities. Hridaya, Hridaya means the heart. Desha, Arjuna, Arjuna, Tishtati means situated. Brahmayan, Brahmayan means wandering. Sarva Bhutani, all this Bhutani, all this living entities are wandering as if seated on the yantra. What is yantra means? Machine. Right? Yantra Bhutani Maya. The yantra designed by Maya, which means referring to this body. So this body is referred to as the machine. And but Krishna is also within the heart, Hridaya, Viddesha, Arjuna, Tishti. The whole Arjuna is there situated in the heart, of the region of the heart. And he's directing the Supreme Lord. Let's see the translation. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, for Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. And I was wondering why is Prabhupada quoting this verse, and then the connection is that because the Lord is there within our heart, which means we also have access to the lotus feet of the Lord within our heart. Right? So He's right there. Tat dure, tat samipe. The Lord can be the farthest and He can be the nearest. And the nearest is that He is within our heart. So there, the lotus feet of the Lord are easily accessible, but they are not accessible to the non-devotees, to the materialists. That's what the verse mentions here. It says for the materialists, they cannot. Actually, it says the internal mind, the internal, it says whose internal vision has been too affected by external materialistic activities cannot see your lotus feet. And Prabhupada goes on saying that how the impersonalists or the Mayavadis, when they cannot have access to the lotus feet of the Lord. And then further, he gives the two categories, that those who are offensive and those who are offenseless. So the offenseless can see the lotus feet of the Lord, and he's giving the example of Mrigari the hunter. He's mentioning the two personalities or two different stories. So although he's a sinner, Mrigari the hunter is killing the animals, but still he's not doing it on purpose. Whereas, on the other hand, Nalakuva and Maniguruva, they have the knowledge, but still they are committing the offense. And such persons, they take a long time to see the lotus feet of the Lord. It's a quick story. I think we are out of time, probably, so I'm going to wrap up here by reading the last. The Lord's devotees, the last lines of the purport. The Lord's devotees, however, do not mind the offenses of the foolish in their many gross and subtle bodily endeavors. The Lord's devotees continue to bestow the blessings of devotion upon all such offenders without hesitation. That is the nature of devotees. Excuse me. So we'll take comments or questions. Yes, Prabhu.
Right, so like one of the offenses against the holy name is to preaching the glories to the disbelievers. So, but then it says here, the Lord's devotees continue to bestow the blessings of devotion upon all such offenders without hesitation.
Right.
So, how do you reconcile the two?
That is the mercy of the devotees. They are actually, in one sense, they're kind of one step ahead of the Lord Himself. The Lord will sometimes restrict His mercy, but the devotees, just like in the case of Nityananda Prabhu, although he was stuck by Jagai and Madai on his, they were violent, and Krishna was there to come with his, Sudarshan Chakra and chop off their heads. But what did Nityananda Prabhu say? Please forgive them. So the devotee is even more merciful than the Lord. So in that sense, yes, devotees, they go extra mile to save the fallen conditioned souls. That's what Prabhupada mentions here. Such offenders cannot actually see the lotus. The devotees of the Lord are so kind that they roam to all places to enlighten people in God consciousness, not minding the difficulties that they face, just like Srila Prabhupada. Does that answer? And we can elaborate on that, but that's the shortest answer we can go. Yes, go.
Nalakuva and Maniguruva, even though the thing
Oh,
about demigods,
yeah.
had to undergo punishment of becoming trees in their next lives. Is there any more context or information about
When
that?
you go to the Krishna book, there is this story about Nalakuva. I forget the name of the chapter. Deliverance of Nalakuva. Is that it? Yeah, Maniguruva. That was the chapter in the Krishna book.
Yeah.
And no one has a question. I have anything?
They were the sons of the treasurer of heaven, and they disrespected someone by not covering their bodies. They were bathing, and a great sage came, and they didn't cover themselves, so they were cursed to become trees, but in the courtyard of Krishna. So they got Krishna's darshan too. So it was, again, just like we've been discussing in class, every curse done by a pure devotee is a blessing, as you get Krishna's mercy, even though there's some hardship involved. Get to see Krishna face to face.
Thank you. And I have
He told him to make like a tree and leave.
so the purport Prabhupada is, this is a question, it's like open question for everyone here. If anyone has the answer, please enlighten me. It says the purport Prabhupada is saying, the impersonalists misinterpret the theory of reflection. So what is this theory of reflection that Prabhupada is mentioning, that kind of thing?
Well, just the other day I was looking, where was I? And I was seeing this red, bright red. I thought it was a button on something, and when I went up to it, it was actually reflecting from another thing. And then even my mother, she was looking at her, she has a doll case, and there's glass. And she could see the workers in the back, the reflection in the glass of the doll case. So she's sitting here watching them do their work. They have no idea that she's seeing their work, but that's not them. It's a reflection of them.
Yes, but I don't know what he's pointing out to.
Is that the reflection of the consciousness of, as a supreme consciousness, is that they think they are also the supreme.
I think that's probably it. But I just gave a class this morning on the Rudra Sampradaya, and Vishnu Swami's philosophy is Shuddha-Dvaita. It's a purified non-duality, purified monism. So the living entities and the Lord are one in substance. Their nature is the same. But they don't, Vishnu Swami refuted the mistake that the Kevala versions that Shankaracharya made, that means that they're the same entity. So perhaps, yes, I think she's got it.
Right, yes. Because Prabhupada is giving the example of it, the sky and the stars reflection.
Yeah, the Brahmavad, they purified Brahmavad philosophy.
Alright, so if nothing else, then thank you very much. Grandra Srimad Bhagawatam ki jai.
Sharira vidyaja deviyo kahika jive fele vishay sagare rajate jivati lomaya sudurpati takile takile samsare Krishna varodayama rivare jivaja saprasadana dilo bhai sevna pratapao Radha Krishna Rao Niveda Ko Chaitanya Nitai Jai Madhava Shri Shri Bhagavad Prasadam Ki Jai.
Make like a tree and leave.